asked. Let me start from the very last one. Yes, the 70,000 naira, the 70,000 naira that was agreed, it was also backed up that it will be done every 3 years. You know, when you see that presentation there, the ideal should have been 75,000 naira plus when you adjust for inflation from 2019 till date. So it is actually better for you to go slightly lower, accept 70,000 naira for 3 years, than to accept the ideal, which is 75,000 naira plus for 5 years. So wisdom calls for that. Then it is always part of the law. It is always part. We have not seen the law as passed. We have not also read it. But our expectation is that it's going to be part of the law. Because if you look at all minimum wage laws that are passed, like the one of 2019, 5 years was stated there in the law. So we know that this one that was also passed on Tuesday, that 3 years time frame should be there. The reason I'm using should is that as at today, we are making effort as at this moment to obtain what was passed. And we believe that before the end of today, we should be able to get a copy of what was passed. But we strongly believe that it is there. Then on the issue of yes, because during the negotiation as well, it was agreed. Mr. President made the pronouncement. We all agreed that okay, that's the way to go. So we don't expect anything to the contrary. Yes, the committee also did the same thing as well, the tripartite committee. So on the issue of the price of PMS, you know, what we identified is actually the flotation of naira and the exchange rate. Let me give you an instance. If the official price of naira today, the official price, is what it was as at May 29, 2023. It was about 450 naira, correct? To a dollar. If we still maintain, if the CBN was still able to stabilize naira around that range, with the deregulation, PMS would have been selling for less than 350 naira per litre. AGO would have been selling for around 400 naira per litre. So that is why we identified the principal challenge, the principal issue that underpins most of these high prices we are paying as the flotation of naira. Because if naira wasn't floated, if naira was not allowed to run the way it has run, most of these items, including PLS, including AGO, including aviation fuel, wouldn't have been where it is today. The reason we are paying high flight costs is actually because the cost of aviation fuel has gone down south. But if the naira was strong, it wouldn't have been like that. So AG was just an example to buttress the fact that if the naira was strong, that these prices would have since receded. If naira was managed around 450 naira to a dollar, you've heard what I projected. That what we have projected that AGO price would have been, that PMS price would have been, ditto, almost everything. The price that you use today in buying your television, the price you use today in buying these microphones, the price you use today in buying literally everything would have been much more competitive and would have been much more cheaper. So to the other question that borders on Okay, so the question was asked about the consequential adjustment. You know, it is not actually, you don't discuss the consequential adjustment during minimum wage conversations. Minimum wage conversation is, you have discussed minimum wage. It's a standalone item. So we have discussed it. Then in minimum wage, you also discuss when next you will come back. You will also discuss maybe a few exemptions if there are any. Then at the end, you will now get a percentage. So that percentage is what the salaries, income and wages commission. They are the ones that will now sit down. Even in 2019, they are the ones that sat. They will now do the computation and come up with a spreadsheet on how this will apply across grades. And that is what we call consequential adjustment. So that consequential adjustment is actually done by the National National Salaries and Income and Wages Commission. The formula will come out. Then the Joint Negotiating Council will now sit down to see to the implementation of it. But on our part, our desire is always that percentage, that 133% should be applied equally across board. So from grade level 1 to grade level 17, apply the 133% equally. Yes, and across different steps. But at the end of the day, the agency that is saddled with that responsibility will come out with what they think. But we will have those conversations with them. If they come out with a table that we think is not favorable to our members, we will also object. So we'll have a to and fro bantering until we reach what we think is proper and it's okay for our members.
Solidarity forever.
Then on the issue of the association, yes, information got to us yesterday that Association of Senior Schools of Nigeria is one of our biggest affiliates, if not the biggest affiliate. The biggest affiliate of Trade Union Congress of Nigeria cannot be taken over by hoodlums. We learned yesterday that hoodlums took over the Secretariat of Senior Civil Servants. So when we heard about that, it was that you have some miscreants that took over the Secretariat. So we needed to reach out to the authorities. And the authorities acted promptly. If you go there today now, you'll see that they drove all of them out since yesterday, and I think maybe they even arrested a few. So for us, we want to thank the Inspector General of Police, and we want to also thank all those from Force Headquarters that assisted us in this regard. So I think the place is cool and calm now, and things are going about in the natural order.
Solidarity forever.
Yes, so in the Collins, you asked about the issue of a protest. You know, Collins, you are a veteran labor reporter, and you know clearly and you know very well that when you are organizing issue of protest, you need to sit down, have conversations, you have meetings, you plan for protest, right? So as of today, nobody has reached out to us that they want to protest. Nobody has asked for our collaboration. We don't even know those that want to protest. So how do you expect us to participate in a protest that we don't even know who is organizing? We don't even have any idea whatsoever what is going to happen. So as an institution, you also know too that we have various organs that we run some of these things with. The leadership has never sat down one day on its own to call for strike or a protest. But instead, we call organ meetings to do these reviews. So the question is that who is protesting? So the same way you saw it in the media, the same way we are saying it. So you just come out and so it's something that we don't really know who is organizing, we don't really know who is protesting, but all we know is that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is very clear on the issue of peaceful protest. And the Police Act also mandated the police that when there is a protest, you should ensure that there is law and order. You should ensure that those that are protesting are also protected. And that is why we are also, reminding them of that provision in the Police Act and the provision in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that those provisions in the law should be respected. So, simply Sita, we don't know who is protesting. Nobody has contacted us. Maybe if they have contacted us, we would have called our organ meetings for us to review. So, as of today, there is clearly nothing to discuss. There is clearly nothing to review. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
There is victory for all. In the struggle for Nigeria, there is victory for all. Forward, never. Backward, never. In the struggle for Nigeria, there is victory. Isoleto. In Africa. Isoleto. Maluta. Continua. Victoria. Asata. Greatest Nigerian workers. Great. The greatest Nigerian people. Great. The greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest. Great. Thank you, comrades.
Thank you.